Hey kids, good news! Two people madly in love, two gay people. They love each other so much and they want to be together, monogamous forever, maybe adopt children, maybe start a farm. They wanted to be together, but the government said no. And just last week, the government said yes, and the White House literally lit up like a rainbow. And we said, finally, all gays can get married. Well, I'm Canadian, and we've tried this experiment before. It's 10 years old in Canada, and it's not what you think. You see, when everyone says if two gay people want to get married, the if is a lot bigger than it usually is. And by the way, the gay people are a lot smaller than we're talking about. Gays are what, 1% of the population? Out of that, how many gays want to get married? They're mostly lesbians. And there's this myth of this giant surge, this push to get married. And if that is the case, by all means, go bananas. Please, don't vilify me. I know talking about this is like denying the Holocaust. Brendan Eich got fired from Mozilla for donating to a pro-family cause years before, back when Hillary and Obama were on the same page. They were both anti-gay marriage, but he got fired. He's still unemployed as far as I know. So I'm being very delicate here, almost like a gay when I talk about this subject. But we really are talking about a fraction of 1% of the population. We're basically talking about Armenians. And they had 1.5 million Christians slaughtered. No one will take that seriously. Everyone's denying that Holocaust. Can you imagine the kind of dancing in the streets if we accepted that the Armenian genocide was true? Would the White House be lit up in whatever stupid colors the Armenian flag is in? No. So let's just focus for a second on the if, because I don't think this is really about two amorous couples that want to get married. I mean, do the math. I'm married. I have kids. When we took our vows, for better or for worse was in there. And there's been some worse. In fact, I would say it's not unusual for there to be about a year where I can tell my wife is not the hugest fan of me. When a woman has a baby, she's basically a write-off for a year. She's pregnant, she's annoyed, she doesn't want to talk to you. Can gays last that long? Can gay marriages last a bad year, a bad couple years? Add to that the constant sexual propositions. I look like an apple that's been left in the back of a car in July. Women are not kicking down my door. I have never been solicited for intercourse once. Now, gays get this every day. I used to work with this gay dude. Whenever he was in the mood, he would zip out and go receive an act, I won't get into the details here, in an alleyway, just like it was going to get a burrito. Now, if gay men had that opportunity, how faithful would, if straight men had that opportunity, how faithful would they be? And I've seen this. I know celebrities. They get solicited all the time. Guess how faithful they are? 0. In fact, the only celebrity I've ever seen who can say no to intercourse is David Cross. And that's because before he got married, he carpet bombed the world with his phallus. There was a great article. Oh, and one thing I want to say too. Straights are not off the hook for sullying marriage, especially baby boomers. You guys invented divorce. You gave marriage a bad name. Straight baby boomer, middle class boomers are the ones who left us vulnerable to this attack, if it is an attack. So we have a lot of culpability on our own side here for sullying the whole concept of marriage and letting it be so easily redefined. But that is what has happened here. Marriage has been redefined. And for the record, everyone keeps talking about the government. Marriage was around way before the government. It's a religious institution that's centuries old. And it's a religious belief that goes down to one's faith. You don't get much deeper than one's faith. That's your soul. My wife's an American Indian, and her tribe has a thing where women, when they're menstruating, they're not allowed to go into a ceremonial teepee. That's kind of sexist, but she argues, no, it's kind of feminist because they're saying she's too magical during that time. We don't get into the details of faith when it's a non-Christian faith. We just go, oh, that's your thing? But if we forced Indians to make menstrual women go in a teepee during a funeral ceremony, would we be dancing in the streets? Would we be dancing in the streets if we got Islam to accept gay marriage or bake gay wedding cakes? No. That's what makes me think this isn't about marriage. This is about, I don't know, revenge, sabotage, redefining Christian beliefs. Anyway, the Federalist had a great article called Same-Sex Won't Bring Us Peace, and they focused on Canada. And what we've seen there is not this liberation of freedom and joy and spooning and kissing and hugs and two old gays with a farm spooning every night. We've seen an attack on mostly Catholicism. And this is funded by the Canadian Human Rights Commission, which is funded by the people that are getting oppressed. And we had the Knights of Columbus, of which I am a third-degree knight. In Canada, they were fined by the CHRC for refusing to host a homosexual wedding reception. So not only do you have to make it legal, you have to tolerate it on your own private property. The Knights of Columbus is a secret organization. Women aren't allowed in the Knights of Columbus, but gays are, apparently, and they have to have their ceremonies in your hall. Calgary Bishop Fred Henry in 2005 was fined by the Human Rights Tribunal for merely pointing out that gay marriage goes against the Catholic faith. And there was a Catholic church in Canada in which two cohabitating homosexual men were servers, and this was brought up by several priests. 12 of them said, I don't think you can be a homosexual and a server in the Catholic Church. The Canadian Human Rights Commission wanted to fine each priest who had a problem with it. They signed a letter. There was 12 priests. They wanted to fine them each $20,000 for pointing out a hate fact. This is life in post-gay marriage equality North America. And we see this in America too. We have, in North Carolina, civil magistrates have to preside over gay marriages or quit their job or fines. And it's hard to explain to liberals why you can have no problem with gays, but not be down to celebrating a gay marriage ceremony. And an analogy I think is fairly apt is, I have no problem with smoking. You want to smoke, go bananas. If you want to smoke in my bar, go nuts. You can smoke on the train car I'm in. That's life. I know, New York City is a dirty city. Smoke away. However, I will never do a cigarette ad. At my old company, both my old companies, I never accepted any cigarette advertising because I personally don't want to be part of that. We are forcing Christians to be part of this. And you know, with these gay cakes too, they found that one place that they knew was going to say no. You know that they targeted that so they could make it a thing. And we saw this with the Irish Parade in New York in the early 2000s. They said, we want to wave our rainbow flag at the Irish Day Parade. And they said, no, this is about being Irish. Being Irish, we're not letting every group come in. No, you Armenians can't wave your Armenian genocide flag. And they got it. And afterwards they were asked, I didn't know you were so big on being Irish. It seems weird that you're that adamant about being part of an Irish thing. And they go, oh no, we're not. We just thought it was a great place to showcase our rights. And I'm smelling a similar motive here with this. It doesn't seem to be about marriage. Marriage is about the highs and the lows. It's about the better or for worse. It's about the sickness and in health. It's about monogamy. And it's about kids. It's also about a bunch of other stuff. But gays are saying we can just drop all those. And we just like the idea of the benefits. Okay? That sounds pretty suspicious to me. They also say that we are exactly the same as you. And Quebec schools in Canada are enforcing that. In both private and public and religious schools, you have to promote the concept that gay couples, gay same-sex parents are exactly the same as normal parents. But the data doesn't show that. In fact, if you look at the results of same-sex kids and mixed parent kids, what the hell do we call us now? We're such freaks. I don't know what the term is. Heteronormative parents. If you look at the data with those two groups, they're vastly different in almost every category. And what disturbs me the most is the category of the children of married couples, which one was ever touched sexually by a parent or other adult. With heteronormative parents, normal parents, it's 2%. With same-sex couples, it's 23%. So we're not the same after all. And there was an interesting article in the Weekly Standard called You Will Be Assimilated, where they looked into how much of this is about equality and how much is just downright sabotage. And they quote gay activist Jay Michelson from the Daily Beast, who said, What if gay marriage really will change the institution of marriage, shifting conceptions around monogamy and intimacy? What would happen if gay non-monogamy, and I'll include writer Dan Savage's monogamish model, which involves extramarital sex once a year or so, actually starts to spread to straight people? Oh, so it is about redefining marriage. You are trying to change us. It's not just about you. And then they quote Slate's Hannah Rosen, who says, "The dirty little secret about gay marriage. Most gay couples are not monogamous. We desperately need something to make the drooping institution of heterosexual marriage seem vibrant again." So a tiny fraction of the population has redefined marriage for everybody else, and there's nothing you can do about it, even if that goes against your religious beliefs. This new marriage doesn't seem to include monogamy, and it really doesn't include children. So we have a marriage that has all of the benefits without any of the hard work. That is the liberal ethos in a nutshell, and it has very little to do with equality.